Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. So, today I want to talk about your career or about my career, about anyone's career. Let's just talk careers, right? Let's just talk about, are you doing what you're supposed to do? Are you really doing what you're supposed to do? Or have you given up on your dreams? So let's talk about dreams as far as it relates to your career, right? Let's get into that. That's what I want to talk about today. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's get into it. So, I have had the opportunity to coach so many people, so many people who are or who have given up on their careers. And when I say that, they have given up on their dreams, the dream career, I should say. They have given up on the dream career that they wanted to pursue. Or if they haven't given up on it yet, they have so many doubts, stuck in position, don't know where to go, what to do, whatever the case is, that sort of stuff. And they just find themselves in a position right now where it's like, okay, so what do I do next? What do I do now? What happens now? Right? So that's what I want to talk about today. So, one of the things that happens is now there's a difference between a job and a career, and I think you all know that, but I'm still going to take some time and go through it. And one of the things that happen is, let's say after you get out of school, or after you've had a really good career going, a really good job going, or whatever the case is, and then you find yourself in a situation where you just need work. And there might be times in your life, I've been there, where you just need work. So you can't be too picky about where the money is coming from. So you show up in a situation, you're like, okay, I'm just applying. When I hear people applying for 50 jobs or 75 jobs, I've heard that. Applying for all these jobs. I myself applied for a lot of jobs at one point in time. When you hear people applying for so many jobs, they're just trying to get work. They're just trying to get money. And we have all been there. We've all been in a situation, in a position where we've had to just apply. And then you're hoping, like, well, I could do this. I think I could do this. I think I could do this. I think I got some skill. I could learn how to do this. Right. So we all go through that phase in life. So it's okay to get a job. You need money, especially these days where cost of living just seems to be going up and up and up. Right. So anyway, you get a job, you're making an honest living, you're making your dollar, whatever the case is. And so, what happens next is what is important. That's where the careers, that's where the dreams and the goals and all that sort of stuff, that's where that stuff goes to die. So, you're in this job, and this is what you have to do. Sometimes you need a period of time to get comfortable financially. So you've been going through it, or you just got out of school, or whatever. You just got your trade license. You're doing hair, you're a plumber, you're an electrician, whatever. Right? You just got to that point where okay. And you need to stay in this job or keep doing it maybe for a year, maybe for two, maybe for three, whatever it is. But you need to get financially stable. There's some things you need to take care of. And this is why it's important to set goals. See, when you don't set goals, you're all over the place, all over the place. What's your target, or what are the targets that you have? What are the goals that you have? Right. So this is why you got to set goals. So let's just say one of the things you're trying to do is you say, okay, I just want to pay off my student loans. Somebody might say, I just want to pay off my student loans. I say, and I need to get a better car, and I need to do whatever the case is. And you're putting in the overtime, you're doing whatever the case is. You're going to take 2, 3 years, and you're going to chop away at something. All right. Now, within that 2, 3 years, this is where a lot of people run into problems again. You got to stay disciplined financially because, okay, if you're making enough, let me put it this way. Let's say this is a number I'm going to make up. Let's say for rent, for car, $10,000 in the trade school you went to, you got to pay them off, student loans, whatever the case is, and just everyday living within a reasonable, over a period of time, you need X amount of money. Let's say X amount of money is over 3 years, is, I don't know, $220,000, right? $220,000 for these next 3 years. You need that to live because you got to pay off. You're trying to pay off a car. You'll get a better car. Okay. You get the drift, right? Bills, all that sort of stuff. The reason why you got to stay disciplined is because when you begin to deviate outside of that, outside of what is reasonable, outside of not being disciplined, you keep adding on an extra month every time you start getting all your wants and going away from your needs. Let me say that again. When you start moving away from your wants, from your needs, sorry, and going after your wants, you start moving your financial goals back. You keep extending the period of time that you're going to be in debt. You keep prolonging how long you're going to be at a certain job because it's not your career. This is a job. So you're staying in that position for a longer period of time because you're not disciplined enough to say, hey, this is how I need to live for the next 3 years so that I'm going to be able to accomplish the things I want to accomplish. And then I could navigate my way into my career. Now, okay, let me stay on topic there. And that's what the problems a lot of people run into. So, part of achieving your dreams, part of achieving your dreams, achieving your goals, is to be financially disciplined. You got to have financial discipline, and you cannot let emotions override common sense when it comes to money. I've made those mistakes in the past. You cannot let emotions override common sense logic when it comes to making financial decisions, because a lot of times people say, well, I'll just make it back. No, that's not the same money. That's different money. And when you could have been 6 months ahead, you're now where you would have been 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago had you been disciplined. So now you're prolonging your situation, staying in debt longer, which means perhaps in many cases your money is going to the wayside because it's going to interest or something like that, right? So now you find yourself stuck in a job and it's more difficult for you to transition to the career. This is where the career comes in. So after you've saved up enough money, you've taken care of your responsibilities or whatever the case is. Now you're saying, okay, let me do this. Now it's to the point where, you may have to drop back a little bit, maybe because of the money you're making, right? Because if you don't have experience in the career field that you want to go into and ultimately end up in, sometimes it means taking a step back so you could grow. So you're in this job where you're hustling. You're making $80,000 a year, let's say that. But the career you want to go into, you don't have the experience. You have the degree, maybe you have the certificate, maybe you have the license or whatever the case is that you want to go in. But for you to start, they're going to start you at $70,000. But you living like you're making $90,000. You get my drift? So you're making 80, you live like you make 90. You want to switch to your career, but they're going to start you at 70 because you don't have the necessary experience to start at. So now you find yourself in a job that you do not want to be in, and you're prolonging your existence in that job. You're prolonging your existence in that job because of the financial decisions that you're making. Am I making sense? You're prolonging the stay in this job. It's not your career, but you're prolonging your stay in the job because of the bad financial decisions you're making. And that's the first part that I want to talk about. So I'm going to break it up into multiple parts. This is part one. Let's call it part one of what happens to folks and why they don't end up in the career that they want to go into. So this is part one. And a lot of it has to do with the financial decisions we make when we're in a job waiting and hoping to transfer to our career. All right. So please come back for part two. Do not forget to subscribe, share, like the videos, all that good stuff. Journey to 5,000. Getting close. I remember when I only had like, oh man, not even 100. I remember when I had like 10 or 20 subscribers and telling my friends, man, would you all just click the like button? Just click the like button and look at it. Hey, look at that, right? It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So we're going to talk about the rest of, what keeps you in a job and prevents you from getting to your career. All right. So I'll have a part 2 and I think a part 3 to this as well. So until the next time, again, don't forget to subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff. See you. Bye.